Hi, my name is Society Bottom Text. I'm a machinima director and an advocate for shoplifting. Color Studios made a machinima you should all check out, decrying the act of shoplifting. And while it was well articulated and put together, I believe it's important that you hear the other side of the argument. Shoplifting is a tradition as old as humanity itself. For most of prehistory, human beings would hunt and gather for food, provided freely by the earth without human interference. Then some asshole figured out how to plant a seed in the ground, the agricultural revolution happened, and now I have to work at a job and there's microplastics in my brain. Since the dawn of civilization, our technological capabilities have evolved at a rate far beyond our biological evolution. Despite the rate of change in the world around us, we as human beings have not changed significantly since the time of hunting and gathering. We have been artificially suppressing the innate human desire to go out into the wild and gather food, instead relegating the work to the rural areas and creating an inherent division of labor and effectively a new economic class, the farming class, those who produce the absurd excess of food required to feed people in urban and suburban areas where food production has been made impossible. Most people get their food by working a job for increasingly long hours with stagnant wages and ever-sinking buying power, while their boss gets rich off of the surplus value generated by their labor. After they are paid a fraction of the money their labor actually generates for the company, they use their measly paycheck to buy what little food they can afford, which is usually junk food, because that's the cheapest food available to them. This causes many health problems, most prominently heart disease and cancer, and if you're lucky enough to have health insurance, there's a chance you'll be denied coverage anyway, because it is in the economic interests of an insurance company to deny coverage to as many people as possible. People have been calling for increased wages and universal health care for decades to no avail. The government has made it clear that it is not interested in helping, as they are all bought and paid for by the very people who benefit from keeping wages low and healthcare privatized. So what do? Shoplift! Stop suppressing your inner nature, rid yourself of the chains of civilization and reclaim what is yours. We are being stolen from at every possible juncture in our lives, whether it's the theft of our labor's surplus value by our bosses, the theft of the government in the form of taxes, or the theft of our very nature by the leviathanic force of civilization. So why shouldn't we take some of that back for ourselves? In Color Studios Machinima on this topic, the creator shows his clear anti-shoplifting bias from the get-go.
The definition of shoplifting from Google is the criminal action of stealing goods from a store while pretending to be a customer. Now, this means that if you're an asshole who is looking to steal from another group of assholes, then kindly go fuck yourself and get a job.
Whoa, Leo, that's too much. Maybe tone it down a little bit.
Oh, come on! That was a perfect summary of how I feel towards people who are like that. I mean, they should feel ashamed for trying to steal.
Personally, I think you should feel ashamed about your anti-shoplifting sentiments. Many shoplifters do have jobs. They just don't pay enough for them to live comfortably and eat. Many of them are parents who need to cut corners to feed their children. Many more of them do it simply because it's the right thing to do. However, this YouTuber does raise an important point. If you're caught, you can be heavily fined or even given jail time depending on how often you've shoplifted or how much you're taking. The 13th Amendment of the Constitution says, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States, or any place subject to their jurisdiction. This means if you've committed a crime, slavery is legal in the United States. So, there is a chance that if you're caught shoplifting, you will become a slave for the government. That's why it's extremely important that you don't get caught. You gotta scope out the store a bit first, see if they have security by the door or anything like that, spot where the cameras are, how stoned the employees look, whether or not they have sensors by the door that will start ringing if an unscanned item is detected. If you want to go the extra mile, you can look online for information about the store's policies with their employees, and specifically shoplift from stores that pay low wages or offer no benefits, as employees may simply just not be paid enough to care. I would also recommend sticking to bigger chain stores rather than local mom and pop shops. Not for any moral reasons, but because there's more likely to be a 50-year-old dude with a shotgun working at a mom and pop shop who gets horny at the thought of killing someone for stealing a candy bar from his store. Now, of course, I've never done anything like this.